We are about to begin. Please be seated. The procession will enter the arena in just a few minutes. Thank you. Fix this then. Please rise for the procession. Welcome to the spring commencement of Clarkson University, and welcome the class of 2026. Let's try that again. Welcome to the spring commencement of Clarkson University. And now, please welcome the class of 2026. Third row up. See the girl in the blue? If you're walking down the stairs under whatever that is.
Oh, I see it now. I see it now.
That's a lot to ask the people around. Welcome to the spring commencement of Clarkson University. Nancy D. Rada, class of 1989 and chair of the Board of Trustees, will now open our commencement ceremony.
Thank you, Brian. That's actually class of 81. I know I look much younger, but just kidding. You'll care about that someday, I think. Well, welcome graduates, families, friends. This is such a milestone day for you. Congratulations. The Spring Commencement 2026 and Convocation for Clarkson University is herewith in session. We're going to start with a land acknowledgement from Philip White Cree, one of our community, and coordinator of Indigenous Community Support and Outreach. And that will be followed by the invocation by Professor Abdul Kokandar. And we ask that you remain standing through both of those before we start our program. Thank you.
Before we begin, I would like to share with you on all behalf of the Clarkson community our land acknowledgement. As the staff, faculty, and students of the Clarkson community, we're grateful for the opportunity to meet here, and we thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land before us. We acknowledge we are meeting on traditional territory of the Akwesasne Mohawk and their ancestors. These lands and waterways connect to the vast traditional areas of the Haudenosaunee, Algonquin, Huron-Wendat, and Abenaki peoples. These traditional territories were never fully surrendered and were only claimed by competing French and British crowns and later New York State. As we move towards healing past injustices, we must acknowledge the wrongs that have been done and work towards a unified path of coexistence and prosperity. We recognize and deeply appreciate their historic connection to this place. We also recognize the contributions of the Akwesasne Mohawk, Haudenosaunee, and other Indigenous peoples have made both in shaping and strengthening this community in particular and other territories within the country as a whole. To.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon all of you. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of God, the most beneficent, the most merciful. O Almighty God, the all-knowing, we humbly seek your blessing and guidance as we gather to celebrate this important moment. As we reflect on wisdom and guidance, we are reminded how the preciousness of life is, and our responsibility to use it wisely and with care. O most gracious, as these graduates begin a new chapter, please grant them wisdom to recognize how fleeting time is and the determination to use it in pursuit of excellence and righteousness. Guide them, O God, to walk in faith, uphold integrity, and act in ways to help others. Give them strength to stand up for truth and justice, and for patience to face trials with resilience. O merciful, bless these graduates with success in their future endeavors, both in this life and in the hereafter. May they continue seeking knowledge, make meaningful contributions to society and humanity, and strive for excellence in everything they do. As they enjoy their achievements today, let this moment remind them your mercy and the countless blessings and inspiring gratitude. O granter of success, fill their hearts with humility in good times and strength in tough times, and guidance in all their steps. Amen. Amen.
Who does the singing? Where's the singing? Singing? National anthem.
National Anthem, which is going to be sung by Camden Adamson. Sorry, Eric. Thank you, Camden. We didn't know where you were coming from. So Camden Adamson is here to sing our national anthem. Austin, yes. Camden Austin. Thank you, Camden.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. It is now my pleasure to introduce today's student speaker, Mr. Hunter Berg. Hunter is a civil engineering student, Army ROTC cadet, and dedicated student leader who has distinguished himself through his commitment to both academic excellence, leadership, and during his time here at Clarkson.
How's it going today, everyone? Good afternoon, everyone. I want to start by saying we did it, which is honestly kind of shocking for some of us. If you think about it, there are multiple points over the past 4 years where it could have gone very, very differently. That one exam you walked in thinking, turning to that first page thinking, man, I didn't nearly study enough for this. I should have just gone to bed. Or that assignment you have submitted at 11:59 on Moodle. My record was 2 seconds. I was never brave enough to get 1 second before the due date. Or those mornings when your alarm went off and you had a very, very serious debate on whether that 8 a.m. class was worth it to go to. Yet somehow, we're sitting here in caps and gowns like we had a plan the entire time. And now I've been thinking a lot about what this speech was going to be about and what message actually matters in a moment like this. And I kept coming back to one idea, the idea of saying yes more often. There's a movie with Jim Carrey called Yes Man. It's a comedy where the main character decides to say yes to anything and everything for an entire year. Now, bear with me. Before you say that this is a crazy idea, I'm not telling you to do everything and agree to everything, right? That movie ends a lot better than real life actually would if you tried doing that. I'm talking about something a bit more realistic. Because, if we're very honest, most of us are really good at saying no. No, I'll do it later. No, I think I'm just going to stay by myself tonight. No, that sounds like effort. Which, to be fair, got us through a lot of college. But here's the thing. Some of the best moments that we've had didn't start with yes. They started with hesitation, followed by a reluctant, yeah, sure, why not? Like, hey, do you want to come join this club? I guess, sure, why not? Do you want to try something new? Okay. Do you want to go on stage and talk to 5,000 people? This could go terribly, but all right, why not? And somehow, those moments turned into stories that we actually remember. Because nobody reminisces about the nights they stayed in doing absolutely nothing. Nobody here said, man, remember that one time that we all went to bed really early and were super responsible? No. We remember the chaos, the random decisions, the things that didn't make sense at the time. And a lot of those moments happened because you said yes when it would have been a lot easier to say no. Now, as we graduate, things are going to change a little. Because up until now, life has been really structured. You knew where you had to be. You knew what you had to do. You knew when things were due. Even if you ignored it, you still knew. But now, there's no syllabus for life. There's no professor reminding you of deadlines. No group chat where someone carries the entire project while you accidentally went to bed. It's just you, which is exciting and slightly terrifying for some of us. Because now, every opportunity, every decision, every direction, that's on you. So what do you do with that? Start saying yes. Start saying yes to these opportunities that are outside of your comfort zone. Say yes to things that you don't feel fully qualified for. Say yes to trying, even if you might fail. Because let's be honest, none of us have ever felt fully prepared for anything we've ever done. You didn't feel ready for your first class. You didn't feel ready for your hardest exam. You especially didn't feel ready for some group projects when you realized who your group was. Shout out Red Rock Consulting. But you figured it out. And that's kind of the pattern. You don't wait until you're ready. You say yes, and then you become ready. Now, please do not walk out of here and say yes to every bad idea. Say yes to things that will make your life worse. Or yes to that one friend that always says, trust me, this will be fun, you're gonna love it, when it absolutely never turns out that way. There's power in saying no. That there's a difference. Say no because you've thought about it, not because you were scared. Because fear will make you miss out on things that could change your life. And a lot of the biggest opportunities you'll get will not come with perfect timing. They won't come when you feel 100% confident. They'll come when you're unsure, when you're unprepared. And your first instinct is, I don't know if I can do that. And that's the moment that you should lean in. Because saying yes doesn't guarantee success. It guarantees that you are moving forward. And that's what matters most right now. Movement, growth, trying. Because nobody gets to where they want to be by staying exactly where they are. So as we sit here today, I want you to think about one thing. What is something that you've been saying no to that you should probably start saying yes? An opportunity, a risk, a version of yourself that you haven't stepped into yet. Whatever it is, don't overthink it. Don't wait for the perfect opportunity. Because if college taught us anything, it's that the perfect moment doesn't usually exist. You just go for it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But either way, you move forward. And that's how you build a life that's actually worth remembering. So class of 2026, we made it, which means we're officially out of excuses. Now it's on us. Go out there, take some risks, make some mistakes, do something that future you will be glad you said yes to. And most importantly, try not to peak in college. Congratulations. Now go say yes to what's next.
Thank you, Hunter, for those inspiring remarks. Now please welcome the 19th president of Clarkson University, Dr. Michelle B. Larson.
Thank you. Congratulations, everyone. I'm going to begin my remarks by recognizing a number of distinguished individuals who are with us today. We are pleased to have at our ceremony Clarkson's Board of Trustees. Trustees, please stand to be recognized. Next, I'll introduce members of our platform party, some of whom will be participating in today's ceremony. Please hold your applause until all of them have been introduced. Will you each please rise as I read your name? You've met Nancy D. Rada, class of 1981, and chair of the Clarkson University Board of Trustees. Mark Doherty, class of 1992, a member of the Board of Trustees and host for an honored guest today. Kathleen Schmaler, class of 1991, a member of the Board of Trustees and host for an honored guest today. You're going to meet them later. Joseph Liu, class of 1982, professor of chemistry and biochemistry and of biological chemistry at the University of California, Los Angeles, with also an appointment in the David Geffen School of Medicine. Zdenek Bazant, Institute Professor, and Walter P. Murphy, Professor of Civil and Environmental Engineering at Northwestern University's Robert R. McCormick School of Engineering and Applied Sciences. William Jemison, Dean of the Walter H. Coulter School of Engineering and Applied Sciences here at Clarkson University, and our faculty host today. Stephen Standiford, Interim Dean of the Ray School of Business and Vice President for Academic Affairs. Michelle Crimmy, Dean of the Graduate School, Vice President for Research and Innovation. Leonard Johns, Founding Dean of the Lewis School of Life and Health Sciences. Kate Kruger, Director of the Honors Program and Professor of Literature. Abul Kondakar, Associate Professor in the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering. Philip White Cree, Coordinator of the Indigenous Community Support and Outreach. Kara Pitts, University Registrar. Angie Shatra, Assistant Registrar for Scheduling. Eric Backus, Professor of Practice and Director of Construction Engineering Management Program. And Catherine Dangerman, Class of 2001 and President of the Clarkson Alumni Association Board. Our readers for today's ceremony are Brian Grant, Vice President for Enrollment and Student Advancement, and Kathy McNamara, Associate Vice President of Academic Support and Student Engagement. So now, also joining these honored guests are our honorary degree recipients, family and friends, wives and family members. Please join me in recognizing all of these individuals. Before we get to introducing you to all the graduates who are graduating today, we want to acknowledge some individuals on our campus who, through their hard work and dedication, have been honored with some of Clarkson's highest recognition. The first who we wish to recognize today are the students who have graduated from our honors program. Will the members of the University Honors Program please rise so we can show you our recognition? The Commencement program also lists the names of members of the graduating class whose academic record indicates that they are graduating with distinction or great distinction. Will the graduates who have received great distinction, and please stand to be recognized? Great distinction. And those who have earned distinction, please rise so we can recognize you. At the ROTC commissioning exercises, which were on yesterday afternoon, we honored 9 of today's graduates who are commissioned as officers in the United States Army and Air Force. Clarkson's ROTC service has consistently ranked among the nation's very best, and we are extremely proud of the courage and the sacrifice our graduates make who are committing to military service and defending our country. Will our ROTC graduates please rise to be recognized? In addition to our recognition of our own officers, can we please ask any new officers to rise and be recognized, including existing veterans and active duty service men and women who are in attendance? Please let us thank you also for your service. Thank you. Last night, at a special reception hosted by Clarkson University's Board of Trustees, we also celebrated this year's University Award recipients. You can read about each of them more in your program, but I would like each award winner to stand if they are present when I call their name so we can recognize them here. The John W. Grand Junior Faculty Research Award winner was Ying Zhang, Assistant Professor of Psychology. The 2006 Distinguished Teaching Award recipient, Boris Jukic, Professor and Director of Applied Data Science. The 2006 Outstanding Advisor Award received by Nicholas Tepelo, Assistant Professor of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering. The 2026 Outstanding New Teacher Award, Ryan Duell, Assistant Professor in the Honors Program. The CUSA Outstanding Teaching Award, Robert Thomas, Associate Professor in Civil and Environmental Engineering. And the Clarkson Lifetime Achievement Award in Research and Scholarship to Wei Ming Wu, Professor in the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering. Today is also a graduation day of sorts for members of our distinguished faculty who are being awarded emeritus status. We are pleased to recognize the following individuals. Jane Oppenlander, with the title of Professor Emerita, having served Clarkson for 40 years in the Capital Region and the Ray School of Business and the Lewis School of Health Sciences. Dr. Oppenlander was unable to be here, but we recognize her. We'll clap at the end. We're also pleased to recognize John Muschberger, Professor Emeritus for 37 years of service in the Coulter School of Engineering and Applied Sciences. Kathleen Eisen, Professor Emerita for 26 years in the Department of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering. Joseph Skufka, Professor Emeritus for 21 years in the Mathematics Department and Center for Advanced Materials Processing. And Laura Ettinger, Professor Emerita for 28 years with the Arts, Culture, and Technology Department. And Sarah Melville, Professor Emerita for 30 years with the Arts, Culture, and Technology Department. We are also recognizing Ellen Caldwell, Professor Emerita for 40 years with that department. And I want to recognize all of the faculty who are in our arena today surrounding these honored emeritus status faculty. Thank you for all that you have done, our faculty, to help our students get here. Now, as has been Clarkson's custom, I would like to recognize another important group of individuals who are especially deserving of recognition today on graduation day. Would the parents and the grandparents of our graduates please stand so we can recognize you for all that you have done to support them to be here. Takes a village to graduate, you guys. That was most of the arena. Pretty cool. All right. More than 30 years ago, Clarkson began an inspirational educators program to recognize the positive influence so many educators have had on our students during their elementary, middle school, and high school years. This year, a selection committee read nominations from our students for these educators, these inspirational educators that helped them come to and succeed at Clarkson. I am now pleased to read the names of these inspirational educators who are unable to be with us, but will applaud them at the end. We recognized them last night. The first recipient of the 2006 Inspirational Educator Award is Nick Luthauser, technology engineering teacher at Potsdam Central High School. Mr. Luthauser was nominated by Luke Brazel. The next is Daniel Mainville, general education teacher at the G. Ray Bodie High School. Mr. Mainville was nominated by Maylin Lamana. Next is Teresa Monaco, mathematics teacher at Whitney Point High School. Ms. Monaco was nominated by Carly McGrath. And our final recipient of the 2026 Inspirational Educator Award is Mohawk Valley Community College Calculus 3 and Differential Equations Professor Gary Koulis. Please give them all a round of applause. Okay, next I would like to offer just a few words of reflection of my own, which is I too have a favorite movie, and it says, "Life is shaped by the yeses." So we have a lot in common, Hunter. And what I wanted to share with all of you as you're graduating here today is to remind you that you have accomplished a lot while you have been at Clarkson, both academically, personally, you've formed memories, but the biggest thing you have accomplished is you. Who you are was shaped by both the yeses and the nos, but the yeses likely made you the individual you are today, different from every person sitting around you. So as you go off into the world, please remember that you bring all the things you have done with you, but your greatest asset is who you have become during your time here at Clarkson. So please lean into all that you bring to your next steps, recognize your worth, and that you are much more than just a list of the individual accomplishments on your resume. You are Clarkson graduates ready to take on the world and shape it as you do. So congratulations, class of 2026. Step forward with confidence. We are grateful for you, and we are proud of you. So we're now going to move to the principal business of the day, which is getting you some degrees. Sound good? All right, that's what you came for, right? All right, so the first degrees we are going to present today are degrees given to our honorary doctorates. We have two candidates for these honorary degrees who have accomplished things in their careers that are worthy of our attention and represent today's graduates' aspirations. Recipients of honorary degrees challenge our graduates to use their Clarkson education and experience and see the world through the eyes that they have seen it, and where they might find a path for them as well. So our first honorary degree, I am pleased to welcome John Dempsey, Professor of the Civil and Environmental Engineering, to introduce the first recipient.
So, for his significant contributions to the mechanics and safety of materials and structures, with pioneering advances in fracture mechanics and structural engineering, for his transformative impact on design standards and the safety of critical infrastructure worldwide, and for his enduring influence as a scholar, educator, and leader in engineering, we proudly honor Zdeněk P. Bezant.
By the virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer upon you, Zdeněk Bezant, the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa, together with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities, and the honors appertaining thereto. marks are here.
The speech is here, right?
So here's your first sentence,
Okay,
and
okay.
then here.
Yeah.
Okay?
Madam President, esteemed Clarkson faculty and students, it is in deep appreciation of the honor bestowed upon me that I wish to say that what linked me to Clarkson was my participation in the test of fracture of sea ice conducted 33 years ago under the direction of John Dempsey, a civil engineering professor at Clarkson. The tests were conducted on the Arctic frozen ocean near Cornwallis Island in the Canadian Arctic. Notched floating specimens, almost 2 meters thick, were cut from the ice sheet and floating on the water, they were fractured. What was innovative with the floating specimens were geometrically similar, with very different sizes. There are plan view dimensions ranging from half a meter square to 80 by 80 meters. In contrast to the huge scatter of the previous numerous laboratory tests of sea ice, these tests suddenly provided a coherent results from which the theoretical fracture law could be inferred and validated. The sea ice tests allowed better assessment of surfacing of submarine from below the ice. The load capacity of sea ice could be solved. The forces exerted by moving ice on fixed structures, such as the legs of oil platforms in the ocean, today may be wind turbines, legs, the efficacy of tiebreakers, prediction of the sudden opening of clear water leads or of running fractures for many miles in the Arctic Ocean, and so on. Now, a provocative question. Could these tests be conceived by using AI? My personal view is that the answer must be no. AI is a wonderful tool. We use it, of course, but only for extracting further knowledge from the existing data or extracting further results from existing knowledge. However, AI cannot yield a fundamentally new idea requiring new data or fundamentally new approaches. In this case, mainly a focus on the effect of size or the scaling. This is a warning. Consider what would happen if the emphasis on AI goes too far, if we refocus most of our education on AI. The young researchers and students would not learn enough math and physics, which they would need to come up with fundamentally new innovations. We would also lose in scientific competition with other countries, except if they blindly succumb to the same obsession with AI. Madam President, in closing, I would like to thank you and Fire and esteemed faculty of Clarkson for awarding me this honorary doctorate.
Thank you very much for those words. I am now pleased to welcome Costal Derry, Professor of Chemistry and Biomolecular Science, to introduce our second recipient of an honorary degree.
Thank you, Madam President. For his significant contribution in mass spectrometry and proteomics, with pioneering advances to protein structure analysis and disease biomarker discovery, for his work as a highly cited scientist and prolific impact on analytical chemistry, and for his dedicated support of Clarkson University, we proudly honor Joseph A. Lowe.
By the virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer upon you, Joseph A. Liu, the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa, together with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities, and the honors pertaining thereto.
Well, good afternoon, families, friends, university staff, distinguished faculty, and the class of 2026. I've given over 400 invited presentations and probably over 1,000 class lectures, but this is the most nerve-wracking public speaking event I've ever had since 1978, when I had to speak at my high school graduation ceremony. Now, most of you are probably thinking, why was this guy chosen to talk to us? And believe me, I was wondering the same thing. After all, I'm a townie. I'm from Potsdam. I grew up going to elementary school and high school in the public system here in Potsdam. My first communion was at St. Mary's Church. I remembered seeing movies on weekends at the Roxy Theater. I can't believe it's still here. I played baseball in the summer months and Pop Warner football in the fall in Potsdam. The high school mascot is named for a rock. We're the Sandstoners. Some of us might have been called the Stoners for short, but I didn't inhale. I survived and even thrived living in Potsdam. Enduring minus 30-degree winters hardens you figuratively and literally, especially if you had to walk to school in that kind of pleasant weather. At the time, we were only one of a handful of Chinese families in Potsdam. Finding Chinese groceries meant crossing the border to Canada, either to Cornwall or sometimes to Ottawa, to purchase Chinese produce. Our dentist was in Canada. Clarkson was and still is a dominant presence in Potsdam and in my life. My father was a longtime engineering professor at Clarkson. I grew up in a neighborhood full of Clarkson faculty and staff, and with lots of kids whose families were linked to Clarkson. I even had summer jobs at Clarkson mowing lawns. I probably cut the grass at nearly every campus building during the 2 summers I worked here. Another summer, I cleaned toilets and offices and waxed the floors at Snell Hall, where most of the university administration used to work. Talk about getting to know the people who would eventually shape your life and future a little too closely. So coming to Clarkson for college was a no-brainer for me. Tuition was free for kids of Clarkson faculty. I'm not sure if that's still the case, but that made things easier financially. My high school grades were good, and so I was pretty sure I would get in. But I also knew that Clarkson was still, and still is, a world-class institution for engineering and the sciences. Several of the science faculty who were internationally known lived in my neighborhood. So my education at Clarkson shaped my entire career. Engineering was not even remotely considered as a major for me. I saw the exams my father would grade, and so I knew that was not in it for me. When I was deciding on a science major, I liked math and especially physics, but they were too dry for me. Sorry, President Larson. And after dissecting a frog in high school biology lab, I knew that biology was not going to be in my cards. So fortunately, I had a colorful high school teacher a chemistry teacher who convinced me that chemistry, the study of atoms and molecules, isn't too boring. Little did I know at the time that I would become a professional chemist and get to incorporate principles of math, physics, and biology in my work. So as a chemistry major, the classes that attracted me were the lab classes. Not so much the organic chemistry labs. It was too much like cooking class where you had to follow a recipe. And my food never quite looked or smelled right. I still don't like organic chemistry, but what I did enjoy was trying to figure out if I made the right substance using spectroscopy and other instrumental methods. When I was growing up, my brother and I would watch Star Trek on TV. Mr. Spock's tricorder was a thing of marvel to us, which is probably where my fascination using scientific instruments started. This love of instruments to study atoms and molecules was later reinforced when I took the analytical chemistry lab class taught by Professor Ray Andrews. Ray and some of the other analytical and physical chemistry professors convinced me that I could get an advanced degree in analytical chemistry, and that could develop into a lifelong career. So let's return back to my original question. Why is this guy talking to us? So when President Larson called me last fall, I thought she was calling for a donation. I mean, isn't that what all good college presidents ask of their alumni? So you, class of 2026, expect that call from President Larson. You'll get that call soon. Or maybe she wanted me to serve some capacity to help the university. I just visited Clarkson a few weeks prior, and I had a nice meeting with her during my visit. Then she sprung the news on me that I was selected to receive an honorary degree, and she asked me to give a commencement address. So of course my first response was, "You've got to be joking. This has to be a mistake. So really, how much money are you trying to raise?" She didn't back down, so after our brief phone conversation, I was still convinced she made a mistake. And after I did a little homework, here's why I think our Madam President is still wrong. I didn't remember who gave the commencement address when I graduated from Clarkson in 1982, but I looked it up. There were 4 eminent speakers. First one was Ralph Landau. He was a chemical engineer who received the National Medal of Technology from President Ronald Reagan. Another speaker was John Opel, who was the CEO of IBM. Third speaker was Rosalind Yalow, who received the 1977 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for the development of radioimmunoassay techniques. And the fourth speaker was James Watson, who received the 1962 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine with Francis Crick and Maurice Watkins for the elucidation of the double helix structure of DNA. OMG. Landau, Opel, Yalow, Watson, Lou. Which name does not belong here? This is the very definition of imposter syndrome. I've received my share of honors and awards over my career, but come on. Later, during Thanksgiving vacation, my family was gathering in Chicago because my nephew is a student at Northwestern University. I told them that Clarkson was giving me an honorary degree. There was the look of puzzlement on their faces, similar to the faces that they're showing right now over there. My sister's son, my nephew Owen, fortunately he's not here, blurts out, "I thought you already have a degree from Clarkson." And then his wise-ass older sister Emma replies, "Maybe they took your degree back." Wow, is this what a supportive family is like having? Well, I suppose the reason that I'm standing here is because I've done well enough and to tell you that my degree from Clarkson played a significant role in my success, and it did. I'm not going to regurgitate all of my career highlights. You can read them in the booklet. But after Clarkson, I went a few miles south to receive a PhD in analytical chemistry from Cornell University. I really think that the real reason I got into Cornell was because several of the faculty were familiar with the epic hockey battles between Clarkson and Cornell. I continued my training in analytical chemistry at a national laboratory originally created for the Manhattan Project to provide the plutonium for one of the atomic bombs during World War II. And then I moved on to a pharmaceutical company that was known for developing Listerine, the anti-cholesterol drug Lipitor, and later another drug called Viagra. And now I work at UCLA, probably best known for sports figures like Jackie Robinson, Arthur Ashe, John Wooden, and actors like Carol Burnett. Okay, you class of 2026, you probably have no idea who these people are, right? But I'm guessing that your parents would know. So how about Jack Black? You've heard of him, maybe? Shakira went to school at UCLA. Sydney Sweeney took one class. And Olympic figure Alyssa Liu, who just received the gold medal at the Olympic Games, so she's finishing her degree now. And so my career as a chemist and a biochemist allowed me to work on a variety of areas, such as discovering new drugs for cancer, diabetes, and HIV when I was at a pharmaceutical company, and at UCLA, where I currently work on projects related to finding protein biomarkers for Alzheimer's disease and traumatic brain injury. All of these were fun projects that allowed me to contribute my expertise in instrumental analysis to improve human health. My education at Clarkson provided me the fundamental knowledge in science to be able to address such complex questions. Why am I talking to you? This event is for you. You're not going to get a flowery speech from me. After all, I'm a science major, not an English major or someone who mastered the theater. So according to AI, we just heard the warning from Professor Bazant about how dangerous AI can be, but I used it because I had to figure out what exactly am I supposed to tell you. So AI, I'm sure, is a source that I'm sure you students and some of the faculty back here are probably using every day. AI says that a commencement speech is intended to inspire, motivate, and offer wisdom to graduates as they transition to the next phase. So here are my points of wisdom. Number one, I graduated with a degree from Clarkson. I was just like most of you, just an ordinary Joe, pun intended, with a similar background. If I can achieve a successful career, then anybody who comes from Clarkson can. That's the obvious wisdom. Number two, as you go on to your career, appreciate the help and support from your families and friends, and especially your teachers at Clarkson who taught you how to think. They helped you move on to your next step in your career by writing letters of recommendation. They helped by opening doors for you, but it's up to you to take the advantage and do the hard work to move ahead. Number three, surround yourself with people smarter than you. You can't do it by yourself. I have many people associated with my scientific career who are smarter than me and who I consider to be my friends and my supporters. My career wouldn't be as fruitful if I hadn't met Rachel, a fellow scientist, my best friend, and my wife. And that's the last time you're going to ever hear me say that, dear. She's sitting up there. This ceremony better not be recorded. Number four, it's okay not to have a life plan. How many people saw the movie Project Hail Mary? Anybody want to raise their hands? Okay, so not all of you. If you haven't seen it, it's about a teacher who becomes an astronaut who tries to save life on Earth by working with a rock-like alien, yes, another rock, from another solar system. So after the ceremony, you can go see it at the Roxy. It's still playing there. I saw it there. Anyway, spoiler alert, the alien is not really made of a rock. The rock is a puppet voiced and operated by a professional puppeteer named James Ortiz. He was recently interviewed about his career by the LA Times, where he said, "I'm not a very calculated career person. I'm running towards bliss and then seeing what happens." I like that philosophy. It very much matches my life. Besides going to Clarkson, I really didn't have a concrete plan on life after high school. Trust your instincts and follow the winding path that you feel suits you best. Opportunities will be presented to you, sometimes when you least expect it. I think I read that in a Chinese fortune cookie. Okay, so I'm not sure your parents are going to go for that one. You can tell your family that you heard this advice during graduation, and then tell them that Professor Bazant, or maybe better yet, President Larson said this. She's going to get all kinds of phone calls from all the parents about this one. And number five, find a job that doesn't seem like a job, but more like something fun to do. Because of my job, I've been able to travel to over 20 countries, see the sights, learn about new cultures, and of course, enjoy new types of food. I'm not really sure what I'm doing in the next few years, but you can bet it's going to be something that's fun. So it's been an honor for me to speak to you today, even though I currently live and work in a city that's practically the furthest place in the contiguous 48 states from Potsdam. A part of me will always remain at Clarkson. All right, so it's late in the third period. We're in this hockey arena here. We need to score a goal to beat St. Lawrence for the NCAA hockey championship. All right, that's not going to happen. I mean, our rivals from Canton in the championship game, that's not going to happen, right? But what are you going to do now? Make the world a better place? Help make Clarkson a better place than what you experienced here? Pay it forward. You owe Clarkson. Because of your future accomplishments and contributions to Clarkson, I expect one or many of you in the class of 2026 to be invited to this stage and give the commencement address in the future like I am right now. So hug your parents, squeeze your mother a little bit tighter. It's Mother's Day, right, tomorrow? Hug your teachers. They got you this far. You have a great solid base to your future, but the rest is up to you. Go for it. I wish you well, the class of 2026. Let's go Tech.
Thank you, Dr. Liu. I promise you I called you on purpose, and I may call one of you someday. So let's all remember this speech from our commencement speaker so that we can say that you were here on purpose and you remember who spoke at your graduation. Thank you. That was wonderful. All right. Now the time has come for the bachelor's degree ceremony. Ready? All right, we're going to confer the bachelor degrees. Professor and Director of Construction Engineering and Management, Eric Backus, winner of the 2025 Distinguished Teaching Award, will you please present the candidates?
Thank you, Madam President. Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science or Bachelor of Professional Studies please rise and remain standing? That's you all.
That's all, you guys. It's your time. Woo!
Madam President, I am pleased to present, on behalf of the faculty, candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Professional Studies. By vote of the faculty, confirmed by a vote of the Board of Trustees, all transcripts reflect completion of requirements for these degrees and all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities and honors appertaining thereto.
By the virtue and authority vested in me, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Science or Bachelor of Professional Studies, with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities and the honor pertaining hereto.
Tassels to the left.
Woo! Woo! Congratulations. All right, you may take a seat. And we're going to start the procession across the stage. Congratulations, y'all. We're so thrilled you're here. So as we begin to introduce this year's graduating class to the arena, I'd like to start by recognizing two members of the class who have received the highest awards from this university faculty for scholarship and the promise of outstanding professional achievement. In 1896, Elizabeth, Frederica, and Lavinia Clarkson founded this school in honor and in memorial to their brother, Thomas S. Clarkson. Two of the sisters created two awards to be given to the two most outstanding graduates. One is named after Thomas Clarkson's brother, Levinus, and the other is named for Frederica. Today, we proudly continue this long-time tradition begun by our founders to honor these achieving and promising graduates who are given this award in the eyes of our faculty. The first, the 2026 Frederica Clarkson Award, goes to Angela Tewksbury. Will Angela please come forward? Come forward, Angela. Angela Tewksbury is an exceptional civil and environmental engineering student whose academic excellence, leadership, and service has distinguished her for this award. She is recognized for an outstanding GPA and recognition as a presidential scholar every semester. She has paired rigorous academics with impactful research on sustainable concrete materials and low-carbon infrastructure. She has numerous leadership roles on campus, including president of the Society of Industrial and Applied Mathematics and Engineers for International Sustainability. Angela's contributions extend beyond campus through internships in environmental and water engineering, hands-on global service work in Uganda, and study abroad in South Korea and Scotland. She has also supported her peers in the university community as an admissions student ambassador and a student life leader. Recognized with prestigious multiple awards in engineering, scholarship, and service, Angela exemplifies what our founders had in mind. Please join me again in congratulating Angela. All right. The second student selected for the 2026 Levinus Clarkson Award is Maeve Bartell. Maeve is a double major. Come on up, Maeve. Maeve is a double major in civil and environmental engineering and is being honored for exceptional academic achievement, her leadership, and her outstanding promise for future professional success. A presidential scholar, student ambassador, undergraduate teaching assistant, and member of the Clarkson women's lacrosse team, Maeve has excelled in the classroom, on the field, in the professional world. She has gained valuable experience in structural engineering and bridge design through her internships with CNS companies. Beyond her many accomplishments, Maeve has also served as an ambassador for Clarkson, welcoming prospective students and families, mentoring fellow ambassadors, and representing the university, always with professionalism, authenticity, and an unwavering commitment to excellence. Through her leadership in the Clarkson community, she has made a lasting impression of what it means to be an outstanding Clarkson student. Following graduation, Maeve plans to pursue a civil and structural engineering career. So please join me again in congratulating Maeve. My script says Eric's next. The student marshals, do you want me to? The next, I'm going to say it. You know what? Let's just go for it. I can do this. Our next candidates who are going to receive their degrees first are our student marshals so that they can return to the lines and escort the rest of our candidates up. So we will be bringing our marshals to the front, and they'll come across the stage so that they can receive their diplomas.
Angela Emmy Tewksbury.
You recognize her.
Bourgeois. Riley Dawn Bourgeois.
Is that all our marshals? You guys have a big job. Just two of you helping everyone up here. Once they get to the line, they will lead the line forward, and we're now going to begin the time when you should be ready to take pictures of your graduate. They're all going to come across the stage.
Abigail Mortimer. Rachel Gentile. Carly McGrath. Elise Smith. Gracie Elliott. Fazia Ira. That's Fazia. Hunter Berg, III. Hunter Hendry. Yemi Ofolinka. Matthew Un. Arnett Sinha. Art Nguyen. Matthias Klo. Ford Samano. Anthony Forsht. Daniel Ganesso. Zachary Bundy. Jacob Porzuzek. Adam Kabalka. Toma Paranpana Youngum. Colton Foster. Andrew Madsen. Nicholas Gordon. Spencer Plum. Jacob Spicer. Arshdeep Tour. Luke Timo.
Kalen Albert Silversini. Nathaniel B. Burgo. Gracie May Frya. Emilia Grace Bartlett. Haley M. Dunbar. Kaylee Ann Salanto. Savannah Lynn Manning. Kayla Ann Butler. Liliana Marie King. She'll be joined by her mother, Melissa King, professor. Mark Parker Heiser. Megan Elizabeth Ross. Abby Ray Bailey. Victoria W. Haggerty. Ivan Chicaz Amigon. Matt Sullivan. Reed Thornton Martin. Aiden Afafin Freeman. Evan Matthew Phelps. Braden James Crook. Ariana Maria Welter. Elise Carola Donahue. Eva Gabrielle Quirk. Haley Ann Morrissey. Hope Elizabeth Garamone. Jordan Nicole Greveling. Bailey Francis Peck. Anna Rose Van Amberg. Ava Grace Frost.
Marissa Ann Caricos. Lainey Grace Tiernan. Isabella Grace Doyle. Riley May Cullen. Isabel Louise Vaccaro. Cecilia Livia Valeria Velarde Bagundis. Marin Hanglighter. Haley Sandra Courier. Ashley Colleen Courier. Rhea Dawn Hicks. Lara Ann Beecher. Madison Nicole Chandler. Anthony Jerome Halliday. Luke Jeffrey Levine. Frederick Joseph Beck. Juliet Yawang Tong Thistleton. David Alexander Nagy Putanchus. Morgan Cole Mikowski. Francis Robert Stewart. Ryan James Vormwald. Robert James Mayer. David William Duell II. Samuel Hugh Larder. Andrew Daniel Tavelli. Chase Rather. John Carlson. Skylar Reed Wadsworth. Matthew Ward.
Aaron Joseph Walsh. Christopher Ryan Keneally. Benjamin I. Treadwell. Samuel Runo. Jared Matthew Enzer. Nicholas Scott Sipp. Natalia Faith Kelly. Matthew Logan Brown. Chase A. Larson. Cassidy R. Fowler, joined by her faculty mother, Katie Kavanaugh. Madison Alden Whip. Nathan Bloomer. Thomas Gregory Feld. Austin John Reed. Joseph Christopher Kenny. Riley Nicole Flack. Elena Margaret Armstrong. Emma Suzanne St. Dennis. Silas N. Green. Colin William Haggett. Corbin Jet Ward. Luke R. Brissell. Alvia Hope Metzer. Angelina R. Dunowski. Nicholas Antonio Versace. Clint Nicholas Grano, Jr. Christian Joel Saletti. Joseph Adams Foote.
Nathan James Oler. Connor Robarge Green. Saksham Shrestha. Stephen Adonis Samoya Garcia. Luke Vians. Ethan James Jackson. Blair Archambault. Tessa Isel. Brooke Jarkowitz. Haley McNett. Mia K. Greco. Natalie Eve Vanesky. Rochelle Daniels. Isaac James Nevin Diallard. Lily Charlotte LeBlanc. Sophie Elizabeth Kilo. Matthew Stephen Wildermuth, accompanied by his father, staff Doug Wildermuth. Christiane Rell. Nicholas Sheldon. Jack Rubeck. Huntley Hedrick. Joseph Christopher Rohana. Matthew Storms Cole. Connor Matthew Tasselmeyer. Bernard Evan Carroll. John Patrick Byrne Colling. Logan Walsh Fuller. Ryan Patrick Donnelly.
Elijah Nathaniel Turner. Kabir Singh. Christopher Kyle Singal. Omar Farouk Nadeem. Jack Anthony Rollison. Nicole Catherine Jemison. Natalia Magnet. Jennifer Solis Lizaraga. Joao Victor Franca Nunes. Vukta Mirak. Jackson Miles Javerick. David Leonvetz. Ella Thompson. Mackenzie Elizabeth Augenbaugh. Aiden Andrew Privatera. Spencer Aaron Ellingham. Aiden Armand Solero. Maxwell J. Moore. James William Gillett. Dimitri Childs. Jack Lee Schneider. Mackenzie Carol Harrington. Anna Elizabeth Presbill. Ethan Jazareri. Alexander Brown. Emma F. Peck. Aubrey Jocelyn Smith. Jasper Davis White.
Joshua Harold Walls. Thomas Rio. Joseph Henry Porto III. Jack Garvey. Henry Forrester Bergeron. Colin John Krug. William Joseph Leapart. Maeve Kelly Bartell. Morgan Grace Kenna. Janeka Kenzie McGill. Gabrielle Cranfield. Isabella Mary Kaprowski. Lauren Marjorie Shanahan. Sydney Nakis. Marissa Elise McCory. Emily Grace King. Michael Scott Newtown. Hanya Tamandani. Adina Jane. Kanayam Abhidagapa Rova. Kubora Abakar Katir Adam. Sadia Abakar Kadir Adam. Niyagoshima Nuru. Essence Ramo. Gloria Akawi Ohenria Yabawa. Nabitu Sise. Jacob Inyang. Jason Fred Bukabake Unwa Ambawai.
Jamal McPherson. Jonathan Welbeck. Mason Akira Yamamoto. Ronald Vasquez. Ania B. Udell. Nathan Thomas Trudeau. Corey Patrick Lender. Joshua Andrew Griffith. William Joseph Trela. Kenneth Robert McEvoy. Jack Francis Adams. Aiden A. Garcia. Benjamin Clark Phillips. Braden Tormey Burns. Aiden R. Kochak. Carter Joseph Clatterstrup. Kyle Logan Otis. Ryan Thomas Brazel. Zachary Wade Schufelt. Joshua Michael Morelli. Jacob Matthew Kolsef. Tate Cartlin Wong. Tristan David Gilbert. Lillian Ruth Gillett. Paige Evans Ford. Daniel William Corcoran. Seamus Luke McGovern Lind. Jack Flaherty.
Alexander Frederick Testani. Gabrielle Ailish O'Connor. Colin Stephen Wickizer. Jeremy Alex DeSalvo. Hannah Lynn Hutchinson. Maximus John Facto. Joseph Robert Borsch, Jr. Aiden Matthew Hanslick. Emily Marie Green. Palmer Lee Stewart. Colby Fox. Aiden Sereno. Dylan Christopher Rooney. Aiden Kiefner. Jason Charles McGee. Thomas DeFranco. Joseph Figlilino. Robert James Mason.
John Abner Pauley. Liam F. Clinton. Robert David Welch. Andrew Charles Eisler. Jackson Liam Varney. Aiden Joseph Keith. Bowden Anthony Davis. Alexander Paul Rosemariano. William M. Small. Dakota Mahone Sachs. Noah Vincent Marino. Hannah Morgan Getz. Lexi Keller. Raylyn King. Abigail Ann Elizabeth Clark. Shuri Eleanor Hadlock. Alyssa Marie Walton. Alyssa Lynn Blue. Abigail Elizabeth Miller. Kirby Rose Davidson. Halen Summer Bucher. Emily Larrabee. Sydney Elizabeth Youngs. Madison Renee Morsi.
Ty Morgan Sabil Wimmer. Reed Rhines. Tucker Weber. Corey Brian DeLisi. Brian Christopher McCool Adams. Randy Acosta Arias. Antoine DaCosta. Tyrese Henry. Adriana Lizette Gonzalez. Ruth Asifa Jigu. Jada Marie Lundy. Savannah Evany Rita Pierre. Jalisa Vivica Cora. Salwa Omar. Tanjanae Elizabeth Yvette Bailey. Noelia Carolina Ventura. Diego Alberto David Lizot. Vincenzo Joseph Palome. Spencer Lazard. Fritz Richard Olson. Ethan Caleb Nickerson. Daniel John Sturba. James Patrick Riley. Nathan Draper. Riley Carnes.
Bradley Emmons. Joseph Charles Campo. Brayman L. Twitchell. Scott Ronald Alfeld. John Theodore Vinning. Brian Michael Manning. Gavin Richard LaJoy. Declan Timothy Landers Poles. Trent Alexander Crook. Leah Sophia Cox. Emma Fish. Jonas D. Petro. Juliana Mabel Phillips. Samantha Ann Udis. Peter David Burmaster Biggers. Riker James Gibson. Janice Elizabeth Doherty. Paige Isabella Koala Easterbrook. Joseph Allen Smith. Ethan Thomas St. Ange. Gareth Darrell Hill. Dominic William Siles. Liam Thomas Allen. Carissa Jo Parker. Jacob A. Church. Samantha Mary Rose Sikora. Zachary J. Russell.
Lizzie Ann Horner. Natalie Sheehan. Jake Taylor. Calvin Alexander Woolfolk. Landon Morse Colby. Andrew Caleb Sipko. Ava Lamontagne. Matthew Friday. Carter Williams. Noah Diskin. Sawyer Locke. Daniel Carhart. Benjamin Terrell. Aiden Jack Dempsey. Daniel Greco. John Bingle. Trevor DeMeza. Maylin Jen Lamana. Elizabeth Kranak. Patrick Murray. Adam Patrick Embry Jansen. Evan Bard. Owen Tirio. Silas Sawyer.
Madison Lynn Volley. Nicholas Michael Bands. Cody J. DeLaFleur. Nicholas Edward Baroff, Jr. Andrew Luciano Gomez. Riley Francis Luckin. Jake Donovan Hanley. Luke Joseph Menge. Oliver Nino Delcino. Evan David Ettelson. Thomas Brian Clausen. Michael John Kalabrowski. Noah Michael Dussault. Mason Charles Burho. Johannes Christoph Wieganer. Jesse Peter Dykes. Elena Goldman. Ethan Douglas Nolette. Martin Emmanuel Lepo. Andrew John Harris. Ryan James Kavanaugh. Brody Thomas Luno. Oren DeLille. Cameron Forshair.
Brendan Elrick. Wyatt DuBois. Chase Lecky. Riley Box. Robert Greenberg. Andrew Mills. David Estock. Alexander Patrick Elkins. Tyler Nash. Reese Daly. Jacob Gao. Riley Outlaw. Tate Lehman. Harsh Balu Subaraniam. Clark Morrison. Marcus Jeffrey Patteron. Christian McBride. Ian McBride. Dominic Lewis Rizzo. Gregory Dean Young. Jared Ethan Montello. Tyler Lee Brown. Nathan Sprague. Joshua Thomas Gleason. Logan Bernier. Jack O'Donnell. Jacob Shala. Matthew Flutie.
Riley Rain Cooper. Rebecca Lynn Myers. Stella Rose Vinyl. Danny Francine Morin. Spencer Anthony Rosnecki. Cameron Remington Hain. James Patrick Sullivan. Anthony Dominic Fiacco. Lillian Ruth Yateman. Benjamin Bleicher Ronning. Aaliyah Bailey Seidels. Sean William Cunningham. William Patrick Giesler. Cole William Rodman. Stuart Carey Wilson. Olivia Catherine DeFazio. Jade Marie Stevenson. Samuel Edson Ellingson. Owen Matthew Gant. John Lewis Reed. Lauren Catherine Marquis. Megan B. Kelsch. Micah Ellie Patterson. Jerry Parker Orens. Samuel Corazon. Kai Walker Kendrick.
Ava Catherine O'Neill. Samuel Mitchell Barth. Justin Nicholas Sabiniak. Tyler Burton Fabend. Wyatt McPherson. Brian Cerulio. Clifton Lawton Rogers III. Aaron Alexander Cook. Martin Sieving. Henry Francis Swift. Nicholas Edward Marsh. Nathan Kuhn. Joshua Siegel. Connor Charles Woodson. Ian Scott Riedesel. Ryan Lester. Hunter Thomas Garnsey. Oakley Francis Bueller. Nicholas Schremp. Daniel Rosser. Will Robert Taylor. And Camden Austin.
On behalf of Clarkson University and everyone gathered here today, congratulations to all of our graduates. Woo! As Dr. Liu promised in his speech, it is now my pleasure to introduce Catherine Dangerman, class of 2001, who is the Alumni Association president, and she's here to welcome our newest Clarkson alumni, you.
Thank you, President Larson. Congratulations to today's graduates. This day belongs to you, and it is my honor to officially welcome you to the Clarkson Alumni Network. To the families, partners, mentors, and friends, this day is yours too, fueled by the foundations you built, the late-night phone calls that you took, and the quiet sacrifices that you made along the way. Class of 2026, you are graduating into a world where the pace of change is faster than any class before you. The way we work, learn, and connect is being rewritten in real time. And one thing I know is that Clarkson alums are built to meet this moment. We don't memorize the world as it is, we roll up our sleeves and we build the world as it should be. You've learned to work in teams, to solve real problems, to fail forward, and to keep going when the answer is not in the back of the book. That is grit, and that is the Golden Knight way. And it will serve you in any economy, any industry, and any decade. You are now part of a community of more than 48,000 Clarkson alumni in all 50 states and more than 100 countries around the world. We have 25 regional chapters, and we host over 100 events a year, networking nights, hockey games, service projects, just to name a few. As you embark on your new journey, I invite you to become an active member of the Golden Knight Network. Connect with alums in your area and with your local chapter. Wherever you land, there will be Golden Knights nearby. Look out for us. Wear the green and gold with pride. Say hello when you spot a Clarkson sweatshirt on the street. Pick up the resume that lands on your desk. Mentor the student that reminds you of yourself 4 years ago. And stay connected to what's happening on campus. Join us back here for Kogo Weekend, Reunion, or Career Fair to recruit more Golden Knights to your company. Last but not least, find us on social media and update your contact info as you start your new journey so that your Clarkson connections remain strong. In a world where we have more ways to connect than ever, but when we can still feel less true connection, what we have in the Clarkson Network is special. How we connect, how we support and look out for each other, how we participate in building the world as it should be. That is now your opportunity to carry forward. You represent the legacy of Thomas S. Clarkson, an entrepreneur and humanitarian known as everyone's friend. Carry it with pride, lead with character, lift others as you climb, and show the world what Golden Knights can do. Congratulations, class of 2026. We celebrate you today and look forward to more memories and celebrations as alumni. Welcome to the Clarkson alumni family. Please now rise and join Professor Eric Backus in singing Clarkson's alma mater. You can find the words on the back of your program.
Y'all ready? Hear us, Clarkson, hail to thee. Hear us sing thy praise. We cherish dear the memory of golden college days. Thy banner green and gold shall stand until eternity. Alma mater strong and grand, Clarkson, hail to thee.
All right, take a seat for one more minute. On behalf of the Clarkson University Board of Trustees, congratulations, and that's all I'll say, I promise. I now hereby declare the 2026 Spring Commencement Ceremony complete. If you could hold your seat for a minute, we're going to process out, and everyone's invited to join us in Main Street at Shield Arena to continue the celebration. To graduates, good luck and Godspeed.